Well, fashion, 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 and welcome to the Fashion Icon. We're all ready for you from the 305, and today we have the Marvin. No, it's Marvino. Okay, and this is a young entrepreneur that I met. I've been following him, all of his steps. I'm kind of like just snooping around, checking out his Instagram whatsoever, and he caught my eye because come from very humble beginnings. And that's what I like to see. I like people like yourself, entrepreneurs that are just coming in and like making their dreams come true. And I realize. So tell me a little bit of the journey. You've gone from like hip hop artist on down to designer. What's up with that? Talk to me about that.
Man, it's a nice journey. I started off making music. I want to say I probably started making music in 2011, and I was more like, to tell you guys the truth, I was more like a hype man to my dog. And after years, maybe 3 or 4 years, I had a setback. And throughout that setback, I just realized like it wasn't really maybe for me. And my second, that there was another thing that I always liked to do, and it really came from just being like wanting to dress. I really liked fashion. I never had made clothes or even thought about it. I just liked to dress nice. And throughout that setback, I just came up and I liked buying Gucci, Louis, stuff like that. And I wasn't somebody that always had money, so I had knockoffs. I had things like that, for me to tell you guys that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I tell you what, the other day I was looking at this girl walking around, and she was all in there, and she's a friend of mine. And she was wearing some knockoff. The girl can afford what she wants to, but you know what? She says, "Why am I going to pay $7,000 for that purse if I can get it for $250, and nobody's going to be told because I have money?" So they'll think it's for real, and it's true. So nowadays you never know.
Well, me doing those things, and then tying into my fashion line, I started to realize like. How do I want to say this? Like,
You wanted to create your own brand.
Yeah, well, I wanted to create my own brand, but I wanted to give it the same high fashion vibes and feel, materials and things, right? But make it more affordable for people, because I feel like when a lot of young black entrepreneurs or athletes or wherever we come for those communities, we love those things, and some families just not as fortunate. Sorry, as fortunate. So whether you had to steal, rob, get the knockoff, or whatever you did, you got your, you had your little fashion right.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to get what you want.
Right.
But that's a pretty good vision to have, for you thinking, and that is something that a lot of the people that I've interviewed, and have in common, that when you're doing something for others, it always comes back to you, and that's pretty, I would say, kind thoughts for you to be able to provide something affordable for others, and that's really going to come back for it, because it's true, and I can relate for what you're saying, because I came from extremely humble beginnings. I was dead ass poor when I got to this country, and at age 12 I was picking up trash and delivering newspapers. There was no help. My mom had to work. My sister at age 15 had to be a maid at a hotel. So I can relate to that. We always wanted the best things, but we couldn't afford it. So, now that I'm in another position, like yourself, that you want to give something back by providing good quality clothing at an affordable rate. So tell me a little bit about your clothing line. Is it modern? Is it urban? Is it classic? What field do you go for?
So once again, I wanted to give it the high fashion vibe, but kind of mixed it with streetwear. So like my inspiration. Let's go there. So my inspirations is Yeezy and Skims. I've always felt like I kind of knew what a lady, like, as a man, like loving women. I kind of always knew what a lady liked. Kim Kardashian is a big inspiration for some reason of me. So I always looked at those, like her clothing line from the nudes, how she can take a nude outfit and start at the whitest ethnicity to go all the way. You know what I mean? With the
Right, yeah, being
the
able
same,
to go for it and just pretty much cover all of the ethnic groups with
yeah,
it.
exactly. So I just thought that was like kind of cool to be able to see that, and I seen the growth in her brand immediately from doing that, even from like going from a very small girl to a plus size model. So I've got very interested in that in the women's side, and I feel like that's something I can win at.
Right.
And then with the guys, I've kind of always felt like we were more simple. I know at least I was. I feel like sweats, hoodie, but now,
Oh, that's it's trending. It's comfortable. You can
Exactly.
pretty much wear it anywhere.
when I got my feet wet, I feel like there's more to it. Like that's just not going to get you over the hump just doing a
Right.
t-shirt or what sets it apart, you know.
Right.
So I can't tell y'all the ideas I have coming for that, but you know it'll be coming really soon.
Tell me a little bit about this Miami Swim Week. What did you present during Swim Week?
I had a 5-piece collection that went from cheetah looks to lace looks, and then what I did is I combined one of the outfits from cheetah to lace together. And the reason where I got the lace look from is I realized like in the late '90s
Okay.
that lace bathing suits and swimwear was actually popular, and I wasn't seeing anybody doing that. And when I had started off even in Art Basel, I know being in Miami, even during December, a lot of people presented swimwear. So I kind of got a head start, not ever doing a swim week. I'm like,
Right.
oh, I can see what I can do that might stand out, 5 months later. And that's why I came with the lace looks. The cheetah is very popular, I feel like, with any brand. So what I just did is like, I looked at other cheetah prints. Like once again, Kim Kardashian had just dropped a collab with Dolce & Gabbana.
See, I didn't know that you had done that. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
You're
but
fine.
you know what was the biggest hit show for Miami Swim Week?
No.
It was Sports Illustrated Swim Week. And guess what was their feature pattern?
Cheetah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So that's why the name. So it's like you gotta go with your guts.
Right.
You got told you go with cheetah. You broke it, and you didn't even know. And look
But I
at
feel
this.
like you couldn't just go with a regular cheetah piece because, like, even last night at the show, every designer probably had at least 1 or 2 cheetah looks.
Because it's what's coming up. I don't know how everybody kind of like gets into it, but like you said, we were talking off camera that one of the designer comes up with that, and then the other one just rolls out and say, hey, it's like, yeah, we can do this and we can do that, and then they're all friends. Oh, I'm doing this, and or there is a lot of I can tell you that there is a lot of commercial espionage there in between the designers that they go around scoping out like who's doing what whatsoever. So you didn't even know it, and look at that.
Right.
You nailed it, because that is what is trending according to the news reports here that I was reading about. And so let's go ahead and watch. As we're talking, we're going to go ahead and be putting in some of the images. Vino brought in some videos that we're going to showcase as we're talking, so you can see some of the designs. Now, where can someone purchase some of your designs? Do you have like an Instagram, or do you have a website that they can go to it and get it?
Yeah, for sure. So my website store is houseofmarvino.com, and you can also shop with me at House of Marvino on Instagram.
Okay, we'll make sure that we put that online for those that are interested. You can just go ahead and get that link that is showing in there on the bottom to foresee it in there. And how do you see yourself, let's say, 5 years from now as a designer?
I see myself winning. I see myself on top for real. I feel very confident. I feel like at this point it's really just consistency.
And how do you see your brand? What do you envision for your brand to do? What are your plans in doing something?
Man, so I don't want to say when I started I thought just I would win on runway, but I was very like I wanted to be different. Where I come from, there was nobody doing that, you know. And I was like, maybe if I can just what would help me grow my brand, expand it. I've only been out for a year, so I'm like, you know, maybe if I put it on the runway and you know, include models and be able to include the sponsors and the different things to see how things go. And it hit big for me the first time around, you know. So I don't ever see myself quitting the runway. And I feel like at this point, now in 2025, you got social media and the engagement. And I feel like with having a media team, like making commercials, doing the reels, it really successful to do that. Because I wanted to start off doing like exclusive custom pieces for like celebrities and stuff and getting into the game like that. And that probably would be the longer route for me. So I'm not going to say I have a 100% planned out plan. I'm really going with God, to tell you the truth. Like, but I feel very confident in my ideas and my creativeness.
As long as, you know, one of the suggestions that I can share with you that has been quite successful for me is that I do have a plan. And I write everything down to the T, describe it all the way down, and then I just follow it up. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to happen in one day. It may take a year, it may take 5 years, but as long as you're taking that one step every day, it's going to get you close. You know, it's going to get you closer to what you're doing. I think you're in the right pathway. And I noticed that you had some sort of purses and stuff like that on the show. What is that?
Man, so,
was that designed by you as well, or?
So no, actually it wasn't. So I started off, what I did for one of my male models is I haven't seen this on runway before, and being swim week, I'm like, how can I come up? What would be a nice pair of swimming trunks, like or shorts for a guy to present? And something just kept hitting me like, Floyd Mayweather popped up. I was like, MMA boxing style shorts. You know what I mean? But to give it the whatever. So as I got to the show, I ran across the special person. It was like, dude, I got duffels. You know, I got accessories that might look good with your urban brand. And when I seen this bag, it blew my mind. You know, and I don't even want to. Dale, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I wanted to bring you. We can cut this.
Oh,
we can cut this.
We're having a conversation.
But,
Forget about cutting.
But
we open
when
up
they showed
the
me the
doors.
bag, it just it blew my mind. Like I said, her name's Ellie Cartier, man, and I'd like to bring her on.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like,
what the hell are you doing here? Get that up. Get the hell out of my set. I want to talk to Ellie.
Also,
yeah, get out. I don't want to talk to you. You're going to bring me. Get out. I want to see I want to know about this. Get out. Just get the hell out. So, oh my God, thank God he got out. I had a issue with the guy. I wanted to be talking to you, and it's like, Ellie, just get the hell out of my goddamn set. I want to talk to Ellie. I don't want to talk to you no more.
Don't do my guy.
I mean,
like
I'll get it back, but it's Jesus. And he was like glued to that seat. Vino didn't want to leave. No. But anyway, tell me about this wonderful bags that I saw on the runway. Tell me the story about you making these things, man.
All right, so first of all, I'm Ellie Cartier, a.k.a. the Fashion Assassin. I always say best designer alive.
Awesome.
Since the best designer died. But my brand is called Build the Bag, and basically, like, I created this bag. It's called the Swag Bag.
Okay.
And it has a removable hoodie on it. So if it rains, kind of like, specifically, kind of like Miami area, where it's hot, but it's too hot to wear a jacket, and men really don't wear umbrellas.
So it's actually a backpack?
Yeah, with a hoodie.
With a hoodie?
Yes.
Oh, no, I want to try that shit on. Yeah, help me out. My fat ass ain't gonna help in here.
All right, put that arm through there.
Here,
yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Put that on just like that. Right, swag. Spank on. Oh yeah, okay, all right.
Bad boy now.
All right, we in it.
God damn, I hear another bearing on my ear. Stop talking.
Yep.
Damn, this is cool, girl.
Thank you.
Damn. This is super, super cool.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh man, so it's like take it off. Put it on. You can wear the. Oh man. Oh no. We gotta get. You gotta get me some of those hot models you have so we can do some photo shoot. with this, but this is very, very unique. How did you come up with this design?
So I came up with it. One of my friends got drafted to the Arizona Cardinals, and then I ended up going to Arizona. But the biggest thing for me is like, I really came from nothing, right? I was homeless a lot of times, but being homeless always for me is like the reset of like life. So I don't mind being homeless for real, for real. So we was in Arizona. I was like homeless, but it was raining and it was very humid, and I kept saying it was mainly men like walk past, and I was like, men don't walk around with umbrellas. It's too hot to wear a jacket. What if the book bag had a hood? So I drew it on a Burger King bag because I used to eat like Burger King every day. So I drew it on a Burger King bag, and once I drew it on the Burger King bag, I went to school in Florence, right, in Italy, for footwear and accessory design. So I met a lot of. I was older than the kids because I took 2 years off of college. So I met a lot of kids where like their parents was like very tied in with Forever 21, H&M. So I made a lot of connects in China where my MOQs was very low because I was like the bridge between China and the United States for people that didn't trust them to send them their money and do their patterns. So that allowed me to get high-end manufacturing at low MOQs. So the first thing I was doing was trying to create a sample. Remember when Kanye was like, I spent $18 million on samples? I could see if a person really don't know what they doing and don't sew, because you sending things and you're trying to change things one mistake at a time. So when I drew it on the Burger King bags, I was sending it over to the manufacturers in China, and I realized like they could not get it. I was like, oh, if Chinese people can't get it, I got something, because they instantly knock stuff off. So I was like, man, I went to school in Europe for fashion design and footwear and accessories, but I never decided to like really make a bag pattern. So I made the bag pattern, and that's how I came up with this bag. I just put a hood on it, then I made a bag like this, right? So I didn't really understand intellectual property, so I was like, I'm gonna make this bag so complicated that by the time they knock me off, I'm gonna already be popular. So what I did was, other than a hood, my brand is called Build a Bag. So this is how it. So this could come apart,
Wow,
right? And then this is like one of the
pretty
accessories.
versatile.
It comes with the middle part. So this is how you make the bag bigger right here. So if I had a red bag, green bag, blue bag, I could put all these bags together, and I can make a different.
Multicolor.
Yep, and I can also make it a duffel. I can keep building and building and building, make it as big as I want. But now I've expanded to the point where it's like you can just buy the duffel piece, or you can buy the dog piece, or you can make it a tennis bag. Basically, like my goal before the pandemic was like brick and mortar, like have people come in like build a bed, but they was gonna build their own bag. But I learned a big lesson because I probably would have ended my company if I would have went with the pandemic, because $20,000 brick and mortar LA, it would have killed me and I would have been in contract.
Of course.
So now that I came back from that, my reset was like, I'm gonna go on tour, and I'm gonna take, my biggest goal was licensing, and I was gonna go on tour and have people come in and sell their experience. My goal was like, I want to be the fashion, like the Disney World of fashion, where I come in and people just have fun with my products. So that's how I end up coming up with Build a
Just
Bag.
an idea popped into my head. I think somehow you should get together with someone from Burger King, because it sounds to me that inspiration that was during your very hard times and you're eating Burger King, okay, and you're there and you're inspired, and I can relate to that. You know, very few people know that I went from, instead of rag to riches, I went from riches to rags, and I was homeless myself. Okay, for 7 months I struggled, and it took a total stranger to get me out of it, and I'm back on the horse. I was very blessed that I was able to see the light and realize who I was, and I came back up. And like my favorite coffee is Senior Coffee from McDonald's, free advertising. Why? Because I used to go to McDonald's and get a $50 50-cent coffee that would cost $1.50, and then I would walk to Starbucks, get an empty cup of Starbucks, and put my McDonald's coffee in there to look cool because it's Starbucks, and I was trending. So I can relate to that. So, I mean, my suggestion will be you hitting that up. My other suggestion, I'm a retired veteran Marine from the Marines, and I have a foundation that we do a food drive for homeless veterans here in South Florida. And I mean, it just comes to mind that why not get yourself associated with some of those homeless organizations and give back a little bit to the community from the sales with that, and you can generate some additional traction from, they will promote you yourself.
Yeah.
And you can give back a little bit of the people that are going through what you already, was able to, to overcome.
So I have a movement that I call Homeless Homies, right? And the reason how I came up with this movement because just being homeless and seeing, I'm from Washington D.C. So in Washington D.C. we got this major highway, it's like called New York Avenue. So how I learned marketing was I sat in the parking lot one day and I seen a homeless guy, right? And he kept asking for money, asking for money, asking for money. And people so used to him asking for money after they came from work every day that they rolled their windows up. So I said, if a person is used to somebody asking for something, what if this time you're giving them something? So I used to hire the homeless people to pass out my flyers for promotion, right? And then Thanksgiving, turkey drives, I always get, and this is crazy because I don't have a 501c, and most people have 501cs when they donate to the homeless or they do things for kids. I deal with at-risk youth all the time because I'm like Washington, D.C. and the gang culture that's in the city and the violence. I always take my own money, and my biggest goal is to always to give back. Like, it's not about the money, right? It's all about, like, my stand is be a king, find a queen, build a bag, and your bag is always your legacy. And just like how you said, giving back one hand, wash the other, because I met Vino, right, yesterday. So this is how God worked. I met him yesterday, and he was doing accessories, right? So, swimsuits. So he was thinking about accessory, and somebody connected me with him, and he ended up having only one guy. And then I put my bag on him, and I got a good look. And that was a good look. It wasn't even about the promotion of the bag. It was about the promotion of unity, just us being able to work together as designers, up-and-coming designers. On the flip side, that very next day at nighttime, I had a situation at Live where I was able to take girls in bikinis. And Live don't do that. They now not letting anybody walk through the Fontainebleau naked girls in bikinis. Of course. Right? Totally. So, because I do music too, so to promote my music. So I called them. I said, bro, you got bathing suits. We about to have a situation at Live. One hand wash the other. Bring me your bathing suits. So I put that in motion for him, and then he called me today and said, so it's definitely been like us helping each other.
It's funny that you said that because I have this my pet peeve is precisely that. Okay, sorry I kicked you off, bro, but you're back. You're
That's
back.
crazy,
I just like to
Mr.
see.
Mayor.
I'm gonna call her the bag lady, but god damn, she's got some really cool bag. I fell in love with that.
Imagine how I
with
felt
the
when I
hoodie and all
seen
that.
it. That was
That's
special.
pretty impressive. And I like what she was saying about the networking, how you guys managed to kind of like network with one another. I thought that was pretty cool.
People what you bringing to the table. Working hard, girl, every day. Pay for the first, last phone bill, car, no cable. With your phone out, don't hit them angles. With your phone out, simple as you cable. And you showing up, but it's alright. And you showing up, but it's alright. That's a real one in your reflection. Without a follow, without a mission, you really piping it up on me. You gotta be nice for what, Titty? I understand, you gotta understand.
The perfect eye cream to diminish all your lines and your eye bags with collagen, elastin, 3-in-1 Mitad de Perales.